It's the Cool Kids Club. You've been invited to the Cool Kids Club. It's so exciting, yeah. Justin likes monsters, yeah. And Aimee likes words in the Cool Kids Club. Cool Kids Club.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Cool Kids Club podcast. My name is Aimee.
And I am Justin, and I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
So what is the Cool Kids Club, Aimee? Tell us about the Cool Kids Club. The fans and the people out there are wondering, what is this phenomenon? The people want to know.
The people need to know. If you don't know, Justin and I are brother and sister. We are siblings. And so the Cool Kids Club is a place for people probably of similar age, though you can be any age to listen to us, who grew up mainly in the 80s and 90s. And 2000s, and are just very nostalgic for that era. Justin and I are very nostalgic people, and we're always looking at and thinking about things from the glory days.
Well, and I think it is. I think it's really prevalent in our generation. And that's almost certainly due to the internet, I think. Like, there's just so much that you can go online and see or buy or revisit that maybe generations before us didn't have. Like, once that stuff was gone, it was just sort of gone, unless you really, really made that a hobby.
Right.
But it's easy to go find commercials, and it's easy to go find toys and the things that, remind us of that simpler time. So for us, that time was the 80s, and that time was the 90s and beyond. This is just sort of what the Cool Kids Club is to me, is just kind of a celebration of all of it. It's a celebration of stuff that, like, sort of made us as kids, and that sort of shaped us, and that we look back on fondly, and hopefully you do too. And we're gonna have, in future episodes, we're gonna have friends on. We're gonna talk about all kinds of different topics under the sun. There are no limits to.
The limit does not exist.
No,
no, the limit does not exist.
No.
We're gonna be talking about all kinds of stuff. Justin, do you want to tell everyone what we're talking about today?
Yeah, so today, when we started to put together the idea for this show and the sorts of things we could talk about, I don't know why, but to me, one of the absolute quintessential things when we're talking about this era that we all, of a certain age kind of look back on so fondly, for whatever reason, one of those things for me is the Burger King Kids Club. I remember those cartoon kids, and I remember the commercials, and I remember the toys, and just fast food in general was, it felt like such a big thing.
And so geared towards kids.
And geared towards kids. And that's something I'm sure we'll get into here in a little bit, about how that has maybe changed over time. But we're going to be talking today about the Burger King Kids Club. And if you were around in the 90s, you definitely remember this. Do you have any kind of specific memories about the Burger King Kids Club? See, before, of course I was always familiar with Ronald. And, Ronald McDonald and the whole McDonald land, and I'm sure we'll do an episode on that at some point, and Grimace and Mayor McCheese and the Hamburglar and all that. But Burger King, I feel like for a long time, didn't really have, McDonald land was a big thing for a long time.
I think that Burger King, realized that McDonald's was, obviously they're huge competitors, and McDonald's was really gearing their stuff towards kids. They had the Happy Meals, and I don't know
if
Burger King,
birthday parties,
the Play Place, yes. I don't know if Burger King already had. I'm sure they did have kids meals.
So they did actually. I did a little. It was a kids meal or a children's meal.
Oh yeah,
basically, and which they introduced, and this would be the precursor to the Burger King Kids Club.
Yes.
Which was introduced in 1976, actually. So way early on, and it was the Burger King Kingdom. And they had commercials, so it was kind of like a McDonald's land, but with kind of a Tudor a kind style
a
royal
kingdom
a
vibe,
kingdom.
yeah.
So you had the Marvelous Magical Burger King. That was their Ronald McDonald. That was his full name, Marvelous
I love
Magical
it.
Burger King. Who was a king who performed magic tricks, fast food related magic tricks,
My favorite kind.
as one can imagine. So
If you can make a McChicken, plain add cheese, come out of thin air, I'm impressed.
well, this is Burger King.
I know. I'm just saying, fast food related magic tricks.
Can you magic up me a McDonald's chicken sandwich?
Yes. Yeah, I'll take a Burger King chicken sandwich. I mean, I'm just saying I would like you to magically make a chicken sandwich appear.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
All right. So you're down. You're down with the
I'm on board
the
with
Marvelous
this. I like
Magical
this
Burger King.
whole magical, marvelous land.
Okay, well, I'm excited
Yeah.
for when you like it better than the Burger King Kids Club, and then we're going to have to go do a whole episode about Marvelous
Yeah, we
Magical
may
Burger
have to.
King. So the Burger King, that was the main character, that was the guy,
Sure.
the king, of,
The actual Burger
the,
King.
the titular Burger King. Then there was the Burger Thing, which was
I don't love that name.
large hamburger puppet, apparently.
That was a very lazy name.
This all was, frankly, not. Well, it started before my time, but I don't really remember this
No,
being
I don't
a
either.
thing.
No, we weren't. We definitely weren't alive then.
No, well, I was, but
In 1976?
well,
No, you
not
weren't.
not in '76, but I'm saying this ran until the Burger King Kids Club started in '89.
Oh, okay.
See, you're jumping
I
ahead
gotcha.
of me. You're jumping ahead of me.
I gotcha.
We had Sir Shake-a-Lot, and I kind of remember this because it was a knight, and his armor was made out of Burger King cups. Like, I've seen pictures of that. So Sir
Very
Shake-a-Lot. My personal favorite, the Wizard of Fries, who is a robot powered by Burger King French fries.
Much like myself.
And then the Duke of Doubt, who is the big bad guy. He's like the Gargamel of the Burger King kingdom, who doubted the Marvelous Magical Burger King's marvelous magic. Or at least that's how I understand.
What a dick.
What?
Yeah.
What a fucking dick.
How dare he?
How dare you doubt the magical?
How dare you doubt
the
him?
Marvelous Magical Burger King?
Yeah. Did you see him pull that Whopper out of behind your ear? Like, don't.
Who are you to
Don't be doubting.
Who are you to
Who
doubt?
are you to doubt? Yeah.
So, all Jesus allegories aside here, the Burger King Kingdom was created to parallel the McDonald Land
Sure.
characters. So
Yeah.
so that was introduced in 1976, and they did that all the way through the 80s, which to me
Yeah.
sounds like more of a 70s thing. Like, I imagine
It does.
by the late 80s that had to be like dated,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, and even McDonald's Land, I mean, they introduced other things, which we'll talk about in another, episode. But they updated,
Right. Well,
their
we
stuff
did
as
just
well.
pass St. Patrick's Day not that long ago. So next year on St. Patrick's Day, we'll be sure to do a whole episode about Uncle O'Grimacy,
Oh God.
the rare McDonald Lands character who is from Ireland and drinks Shamrock Shakes.
God. I've never had a Shamrock Shake. I know we're off topic now, but yeah,
that is insane.
You've never shocking.
They're really good.
Are they?
Yeah,
they're minty, right?
minty,
They're like
yeah.
mint chocolate.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, we're
So the Marvelous Magical Burger King and this whole thing lasted from the mid-70s all the way through the 80s, which, like I said, seems kind of dated to me, like, by the end.
Mm-hmm.
So by 1989, they decide that the whole thing needs a relaunch, and they are right. And
yeah.
so they relaunch their children's meal program. Now, they had, like, cool toys and stuff kind of beforehand. With
Okay.
these kids club meals. We're not going to really talk about that era today. We may at another time, but they had like some really cool like Thundercats toys and stuff in the mid late 80s.
Okay, cool.
So I mean, it was
Yeah.
still a big thing. It just wasn't, it was, I guess it was kind of dated by the late 80s.
Yeah.
So in 1989, Burger King relaunched its children's meal program, and they called it the Burger King Kids Club, and phased out these kingdom characters, and they started teasing, right? So they teased the debut, and they would have posters up in the Burger King restaurants with like shadowy cartoon figures. So you start to get these little hints, and very late 89 or early 90, they officially debuted the Burger King Kids Club with the first television commercial. Let's take a listen to that.
Sure, you got places to go, people to see, but why not pop over to Burger King and find out how to join the Kids Club?
Details are specified in the Kids Club newsletter.
You can find out how to get a membership card, stickers, autographed pictures.
And have lots of fun non-stop, with or without your pop.
So if you can find the time, why not pop into Burger King?
And find out how to join the Kids Club.
Whew, I love that.
Yeah, it is very of its time.
Well, yeah. I mean, you had like, this is hip and cool, right? Like,
yeah.
You know, so some of it's hard to sort of get by on just audio, but you have the VHS static, and you have you know, the kids in their cool clothes being transported magically. Not maybe it's the kid. Maybe it's still maybe it's still his influence.
Maybe his like magic is still in the air. Even though,
I imagine that's hard to get rid of.
Yeah, like
the smell of Burger King.
Oh,
gets in your clothes. Anyway, so I love this commercial. It's very 1989, 1990, and it talks a little bit about what you get. You have these flyers. You have these special toys. You have these things, but the big thing is we have all of these animated kids.
Yes.
Do you want to kind of talk about who we have? Because this is a whole group of characters.
Yes.
That have distinct names and personalities and character traits.
They definitely. Okay.
Why don't you kind of?
Yeah. They.
Huh.
I was going to say they went with a very. There's a lot of caricatures. You know, you've got you're possibly the ringleader, the main kid, is Kid Vid.
And of course, he's one of the ones I remember the most.
Yes.
Because he had the glasses.
He's basically, he's white, he has blonde hair, he has the sunglasses on, he plays video games, and he was, the de facto, like, leader of the group. And then, of course, we have Boomer, who is a sports-loving tomboy with red hair and a ponytail. Think Christy from the Babysitters Club. Like, very like, she doesn't have friends that are girls, really. She just has friends that are guys, and they all hang out at Burger King, apparently. And then you've got the nerd.
Yeah, so we've got the main guy. So we've got Zach, we've got Slater.
Zach,
and now we've got Screech.
Well, no, Boomer's a girl, I believe.
Well,
she's still the Slater.
She's still a jock, so
she is a bit of a jock. IQ is the name of the nerd. Like they, so, and they've told you he's a nerd because he has red hair and freckles. He wears glasses. He has a lab coat and a pocket protector. So that's how they tell you. Yeah. They want you to know this is the nerd. Okay, and here we have Jaws, and I'm just gonna say I feel like that would have been a better name for the dog, but whatever. Because we'll get to the dog in a minute, who's not named Jaws. But anyway, Jaws, he just apparently has an insatiable appetite. Like that's his main thing. And then JD is the dog. Now, wouldn't you think that you would name a human JD and a dog Jaws?
Do we have any confirmation of what JD stands for? Maybe it's Jaws' dog.
Jaw dog.
Jaw dog.
I mean,
well, that's it. It's Jaw dog.
Well, it's Jaw dog. He's the group's mascot. Okay.
Yeah.
And let me just say that I feel like this is very much in a time when companies were attempting to be more diverse. So
yes.
you have this group of kids, and Kid Vid is white, Boomer is white, IQ is white, Jaws is black. We have Lingo, just
JD's a dog.
JD's a dog. Yeah, he
Whole different species.
Jaw dog. What'd you say?
Whole different species.
Yeah, completely different species. We have Lingo, who is a multilingual Hispanic boy. He likes art, and he carried an easel. So I feel like they're trying to cover all their bases.
Sure.
Which is great, honestly. And I feel like, hey, that may have been the first time that a kid saw someone like themselves on TV, and that's great. And representation matters. I think it's cute that they are, trying to do that. And I feel like there was a big push for that in the late 80s, early 90s. You have Snaps, who is a blonde girl. She is also white, and she carries her camera around. So she's like a budding photographer. That's why she's called Snaps. And then possibly the most questionable name. We have a young white boy who is in a wheelchair, and his name is Wheels.
Yeah, it's Wheels.
Yeah, it's Wheels.
I mean, it's Wheels.
It is. We can't go back and change it.
I don't.
It is.
I bet that wasn't his Christian name.
I'm
guessing
I don't think
his parents
Snaps
weren't so cruel that they named their paraplegic child Wheels.
Or they named him Wheels, and then he later became a paraplegic. Would just have been like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh man, some kind of deal with the devil stuff.
I mean, so I doubt Wheels is his Christian name.
Right. It's Jaws.
Well, I don't know that any of them are, except for Jaws Dog, of course.
Except for Jaws Dog, that is his Christian name.
That's on his birth certificate. Mm-hmm. So that's your group. And then actually, in the early 2000s, they did add another female character, and her name was Jazz. She is Asian, and she likes music and wore a beret, another very artistic type, kind of like Lingo. So I feel like they're trying to be more racially diverse, which we love. They're trying to have kids who are all into different things. You've got the people who like video games. You've got the sporty kids. You've got the nerdy kids who like science. You've got artistic people. I don't know.
They're trying to cover all their bases. Listen,
they're trying to cover
there's
all their
kids of all
bases.
colors who are into all kinds of different things that all are going to want to come in and eat these hamburgers. So
exactly. And I have to say, I do appreciate that, regardless of, Wheels not being the best name. I don't feel like it's necessarily derogatory.
No.
It's just not great.
He probably calls himself Wheels.
Maybe he does. Maybe it's like a cute, nickname within the group. If he is fine with being called Wheels, then frankly I am too.
Yeah. Well, I imagine.
That's what
I
matters.
imagine if he wasn't fine with it, he would have been, he would have said something.
He would have told the Burger King.
He would
have been like, listen, I don't
magic
appreciate
me up some
it.
new legs or something. Why?
Jesus Christ.
Why am I in a wheelchair when I'm in this magical kingdom? This is supposed to be like the island on Lost, right? Like, shouldn't I be able to walk again?
It was like heaven or something. Exactly.
Well, before I get and say something I'm really going to regret.
I was going to say, just maybe hold up a minute. So, okay, that's our group.
Yeah, so that's the kids. That's the kids. And they are going to have all kinds of adventures in just a, endless series of commercials. So what do you get? Like, what is the Burger King Kids Club besides this? So when you actually go to Burger King, what is the Burger King Kids Club? So one of the things, and they mention it in that commercial, is they call it a magazine. Really, it's kind of like a flyer. It's like a big sheet of paper folded in half. But it's like a comic style magazine leaflet flyer thing that's free for kids. And this is called Burger King Kids Club Adventures. So that's when you kind of get like the different characters will have different, quote unquote articles or, segments. And really it's like information on the toys of the month. It's puzzles and fun facts. And they have like a registration form for the kids club on the back.
Let me talk real quick about, you said there's a registration form, and I just want to interject that when we started thinking about this podcast, like you said, the Burger King Kids Club kind of came to mind. And obviously we're called the Cool Kids Club.
Yeah.
And this title sort of came not just inspired by the Burger King Kids Club, but the idea of there being kids clubs that you could register for. So I don't know if you all remember or if where you grew up had these things, but like where Justin and I grew up, it would be like the local news station had like a kids club.
Yeah.
And you could register and it would be like, news for kids, and like you could get fun stuff. And I remember there being a time like I won like a coloring contest with the local kids club, and
I'm
like,
sure
they
there
were
is
just
still
like,
stuff like that. It's probably just all
sure
online.
we're just not kids, so
Right.
we're not paying attention to it. But yeah, so
I'm just a 30-something-year-old guy paying attention to the kids clubs from 30 years ago.
Right. It'd be creepy if we paid attention to them now.
True.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to interject that like it was a literal kids club you could register for. Like this is not just, oh, hey, the kids that I just talked about are the kids club. Like, no, you could literally join and like get more things, which you're about to talk about. But I just think that that's really, and yeah, you'll have to let us know, those of you maybe who have kids, if they do still do things like this where like you can literally go online and sign up to be part of these clubs that like organizations and news stations and stuff might have, because I think that's really cool.
I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'd have this magazine, which is free in all the Burger King restaurants. And it'd have like fan mail letters and pictures, kind of the stuff we just talked about. Now if you registered and became like a card-carrying member because obviously you didn't have to be a member of the Burger King Kids Club to buy a children's meal, obviously. But if you like registered during your birthday month, you would receive a mailing, and it would be like you'd have a membership card, you'd have a poster, you'd have like games. They send you a little pack of stuff, and you'd have like a voucher for a free Kids Club meal sometime in the month of your birthday. So it's pretty sweet. And the meals themselves were really cool. So, you had a hamburger, a cheeseburger. This is simple sort of... These are
simple fare.
Simple things. So you had... they came with a hamburger, cheeseburger, or chicken tenders, small fries, and a small drink. And then you would have a toy in a paper bag. And the early paper bags had the Burger King Kids Club logo. And then it was kind of like a plastic window. In the bag,
so you could see in. Okay.
Yeah, and it was like a showcase. Those are really cool. So
you could see your cheeseburger steaming up the bag from the outside.
Well, this may have been a separate bag, like just for the toy.
Just for the toy.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
And of course, I mean, we've talked about what you get. We've talked about the kids. We've talked about the idea of this Burger King Kids Club, and that brings us to, we can't have a discussion about the Burger King Kids Club without talking about the toys, because that's really the best part.
Let's be honest. That's what you're there.
That's
for.
what we're here for. So obviously,
like you're at Burger King. Your parents have taken you to Burger King. Obviously, you're gonna eat something, but the toy. The toy is where it's at.
Yeah. So, obviously Happy Meal toys. There's tons of great Happy Meal toys, remember, and we'll talk about those.
Don't worry. We will talk at length about those.
Don't worry. You'll get a lot of Happy Meal content.
I know you guys are very worried, and please don't.
But so obviously we're not going to discuss every single toy that they put out, because there's tons of them. But I did want to talk about a few favorites that I sort of remembered, or that I think were notable. The first Burger King Kids Club toys under that Kids Club label were they were called Record Breakers, and they were like toy cars.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like a Hot Wheels Matchbox sort of thing.
Sure.
That was the first Burger King Kids Club toy. The first really big sort of inter-promotional deal that I can recall was in 1990, and it was The Simpsons, which, if you were around in 1990, there probably wasn't a bigger show on TV.
Absolutely not.
Like, it had blown up by that point and was just the biggest thing in the world in television at that time. And so over the summer, the Burger King Kids Club comes out with these camping toys, and they have this really camping themed toys, and they're really cool. They're really authentic, and they look just like and it was kind of the first time we'd had those. I mean, now I'm sure
I don't think I remember the camping toys. Now I do remember some other Simpsons things.
Well,
I don't know that I remember
let's take a look, or let's take a listen, if you will.
Okay.
At this commercial and check it out.
Yo, Snack, take a picture with me. Come on. Okay, everybody, say cheeseburger. Cheeseburger! Speaking of cheeseburgers, let's go to Burger King. Look out, nature dudes. We're coming.
Burger King's taking Homer, Marge, and all the Simpsons camping, including you-know-who. Now you can get one Simpsons character and camping scene in every Kids Club meal at Burger King.
The Burger King Kids Club, just for fun, just for you.
Oh, that's just so wonderful.
I loved it. And I don't remember those, though, even after seeing them.
Really?
don't.
It came with the little camping scene
Yeah.
behind it. Really, really cool. And
Well, I was 3 in 1990, so
right.
yeah, you were a little older. I don't remember those specifically. There are some Simpsons things that I think they did later that I remember, but
They definitely did. It
Yeah.
was definitely not the first, or it was the first, but
I
it definitely
feel
wasn't
like-
the last.
I feel like there was a big, which Fox itself, where Simpsons aired, had their own kids club. But I feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there were a lot of Fox shows that linked up with Burger King for toys. But maybe I'm making that up.
Probably not. It could be.
Yeah.
We're gonna see a lot of stuff like that. They also had a lot of Disney stuff that I'll talk about in a
Yes.
second. But another one from sort of the very early era. This is also from 1990. You can't talk about toys and stuff from that era. You're going to talk about Ninja Turtles.
Well, we're always going to talk about Ninja Turtles.
Right. So they had these, they were called action badges. And they were kind of like these big sort of elaborate sort of pins that you could attach to things. Really, really cool looking. This is 1990. This was the year that the Ninja Turtles movie came out. Kind of the height of Turtle Mania.
I was going to say, if you don't say Turtle Mania,
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what it was.
I'd be very disappointed. It was.
That's what it was. So let's take a listen at this commercial. You're gonna get a lot of Ninja Turtle content on this show. I'm just warning you. This is the first of many. This is Burger King Kids Club action badges.
Come on, Kid Vid!
They're teenagers. They're ninjas. They're green.
We're dealing with a real mind here.
Ah! Now they're taking Burger King by storm. You can get one of your favorite heroes in a cash shell every time you buy a Kids Club meal. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle badges. For a limited time. Only at Burger King.
Cowabunga, dudes!
Okay, let me first just say, that was Jonathan Taylor Thomas. JTT himself.
Yes.
In that commercial. I know that you all could not, these will all be linked, of course, in our show notes, but...
Yes. Also, you can see
JTT
the
is
bags.
in that.
Did you see the bags?
Yes, okay, I was going to say I saw the bag with the window.
Yeah.
And I do remember
So
that.
go watch these. They're super fun. The audio doesn't
they're
totally do
super
them
short,
justice.
obviously. They're just little TV spots. I love how they are incorporating the Kids Club not only into the live action stuff, but like they were interacting with the turtles themselves. Like it was like
the Kids Club hanging out with the turtles, like fighting crime.
And I love that because they really, and
I would say those
keep...
were almost certainly the voice actors from the cartoon series. That sounded just like them.
It did sound like them.
Yeah.
I know we keep referring back to McDonald's, and it could just be that I don't remember, but McDonald's never had like kids as spokespeople, for lack of a better word. Like these are like
as
animated. Yeah. Like they didn't really have that. They had like little
not really
creatures and little things.
Not like recurring kids characters. I mean, you have commercials and stuff with kids.
So this is like, I feel like this really like This was a good move for Burger King because it's like, you're going to find somebody in the kids club that you relate to.
And that sort of brings up the next toy, or that sort of is a good lead in to the next toy I wanted to just briefly mention. We don't have a commercial for this one, but it is they made Burger King Kids Club action figures.
Yes. So it's like you could have a favorite, everybody's going to have a favorite, from the kids
Collect
club.
them all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And I do like how there's a very Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Paula Abdul feel with the whole mixing the...
It's the Looney Tunes back in action Space Jam.
So that live action with
Speaking
animation,
of, I did see, this has nothing to do
love.
with anything, but I did see the new Tom and Jerry movie.
How was it?
Yeah.
I mean, Rob Delaney's in it.
He is, and I am a huge Rob Delaney fan.
I did not see that one.
Yeah, you can probably skip it. They also did, interestingly enough, and I remember these as well, Beetlejuice, and they were actually the only really official. They were from the Beetlejuice animated series, which I loved.
I also loved the
Saturday morning series, and these were like the only official toys from the. I think they made some prototypes that are out there, but apparently
Beetlejuice animated series did not make a line of toys outside of these.
The movie and stuff had toys.
Well, yeah, but the animated
series I don't, from what I have read, and maybe I'm wrong, but
we may have to do a deep dive episode into this.
Maybe.
I mean, who knows?
Or I'll go buy them on eBay right as soon as we're done talking about these. And then, of course, in the 90s, you had a lot of Disney tie-ins.
Disney was, popping in the 90s.
Of course. So you had Aladdin in 92. You had Little Mermaid. You had Lion King. You had Goofy Movie.
Sure.
So I feel like of these, Aladdin is nearest and dearest to my heart.
Yeah, that one and Little Mermaid for me. Well, and Beauty and the Beast, but they didn't have those.
Well, let's take a listen to the Aladdin promotion that went on in the early 90s.
This holiday season, fly into Burger King and celebrate the magic of Disney's Aladdin, now in theaters. Make wishes come true when your kids take home their own genie in the lamp, Disney's newest hero, Aladdin, the lovely Princess Jasmine, the mischievous Abu, and the evil Jafar. Collect all 5, one with every kid's meal, only at Burger King. But hurry, before the magic of Aladdin disappears.
Okay, can I just say I loved that. I love Aladdin, and okay, so here's things I love. Aladdin, how the Kids Club logo is in between 2 hamburger buns. Choice. I love that.
They did change the logo.
They did, because this would have. Well, Aladdin was 92, so yeah. So we're 3 years into the Kids Club. They have adapted the logo a little bit. And also, I 100% have some of these toys. So
I definitely have the genie, I know.
Oh, no, I mean, I still currently own them.
No, me too, I know.
Oh, okay. Because a family friend of ours had collected a lot of these for his kids, and they didn't want them anymore, and he was like, hey, you can just have whatever you want. And I know that I have that genie, and I know that I have Jasmine on, what was the tiger's name? Raja, I think.
Raja.
I definitely have those. God, I loved Aladdin. Do you remember that I used to want to watch Aladdin every single day, and Mom had to limit it? And I remember she was like, okay, on Wednesdays you can watch Aladdin Like, she just chose a random day because she was like, if I have to watch Aladdin one more fucking time, I'm gonna lose it.
It was every day.
Every day when you get home from school. So I was in like
day.
kindergarten, and I wanted to watch it every day, and she was like, okay, you can watch it on Wednesdays. And I to this day remember that, and it would be like Wednesday, and I'd be like, fuck, I get to go watch Aladdin.
Oh god.
Oh my god. And she was probably, really regretting saying I could watch it ever again, but she probably got a good nap in while we were watching Aladdin.
Sure.
So
they also had some glow-in-the-dark trolls. Trolls were a big thing.
That.
We're getting into the mid-90s now.
Sure.
We had a couple lines of Toy Story. That was a big. They had several different Toy Story, and including Toy Story hand puppets.
Was Toy Story 96, something around there? 95, maybe
It
even?
was in the mid-90s. It was one of those
Yeah.
years. 94, 95, 96, something like that.
Okay.
And several Nickelodeon things. They had, like, Rugrats toys.
Yep.
That kind of started up more in the late 90s, I think. And then as you got into, like, SpongeBob and stuff like that, they had a lot of SpongeBob-type stuff.
Sure.
The original Pokemon movie, they had a big promotion with that, which
Yeah.
I believe was 99, I want to
Okay.
say.
I never was into Pokemon, so.
No. But I know lots of people who are and
yeah.
were and are. But the
Yeah.
last one that I really wanted to kind of focus on for a second and listen to the commercial. One of the things that we are almost certainly going to do an episode on probably this Halloween is the 90s Universal Monster revival, which I am just a huge fan of. The early 90s,
Yeah.
which is weird because they did a toy line of Universal Monsters, but it was 97. If you were around back then, you kind of remember they had this Universal Monsters sort of revival. They had like the promotions, they had Universal Studios and they had a live show at Universal Studios, and they had this promotion with Pepsi and
Yeah, I was gonna say
Doritos
Pepsi,
and all these
Dorito
commercials.
commercials.
Lots of just, you had Universal Monsters sort of everywhere, but that had kind of died down by the late 90s, I mean. But so this is 97, and but the Burger King Kids Club puts out a line of Universal Monster toys
Hell yes.
that I do have. And
You have gotten all of them, haven't you?
I have. There were 4. There was Frankenstein, the Wolfman, Dracula, and Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Let's take a look.
They look great. Let's watch this commercial. It is a lot of fun.
Kids, come meet your new sitter. Looks like a good time to check out Burger King. Yeah! Nice costume. I'm so scared.
Universal Studios Monsters are on the loose. You can get one toy and glow-in-the-dark sticker inside every Kids Club meal at Burger King.
Wow, really nice costume. Burger King Kids Club. Great food, cool stuff, kids only.
If I could have a tagline for this show, it would be great food, cool stuff, kids only.
God, I loved that so much. I wish it were Halloween. I get so sad when it's not Halloween.
I know you do. So the Burger King Kids Club was replaced. It lasted until 2004.
Wow.
Actually, yeah, much longer than I thought. But it was, tons of commercials. So it really, really is a 90s thing. Because it was kind of, it was a huge part of Burger King promotional stuff for, over a decade. But in 2004, the gang was replaced by the Honbats, which I don't remember at all. I mean, granted, I was out of high school at that point, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Sounds fake.
I don't think that happened.
I don't think that's
I don't
real.
think that happened.
That sounds made up.
But yeah, and that was it for the Burger King Kids Club. You could still see in some Burger King restaurants, like you can still see some references to the Burger King Kids Club. Yeah, you can still see, like, sometimes you'll find something that's got a picture of Kid Vid on it or something, or like that.
Love it.
So we'll see if it gets the reboot treatment, like so many other things that we love and remember. But yeah, the Burger King Kids Club for me was one of those. Like I said, it really defined that time period. Like it was very, because I don't really remember Burger King like we talked about the Magical Land and all that kind of came before. I don't remember that. My main memory of like and I mean they did it after the Burger King Kids Club too, was going and getting the crowns.
Oh God,
paper crowns at Burger King, which they obviously had after they introduced the Kids Club too.
In fact, there is a great picture of us, which I might find for this, of the two of us in some Burger King crowns
Oh,
in our backyard.
Absolutely. 2 wars? Absolutely.
Yeah.
That will be on our social media by the time this episode
100%.
goes up, for sure. So check that out. But, it's just, to me, like, the look and the feel, it's so of its time. It's so fun. And I like what you were kind of talking about, of this idea of kids clubs and an idea of, like, and yes, it's promotion and advertising, and that's just what it is.
Yeah, of
But,
course.
this it made you feel like people were paying attention to you, like, that these places that,
and I don't know
does
if
that make
that's
sense?
something that kids nowadays, I mean, there's, with the invention of the internet and social media, there's all kinds of other issues, but I feel like the 90s was the last time that we didn't have access to everything all the time, constantly. But I feel like it was a bit of a simpler time. And as kids growing up in the 90s, like, I think the kids club, I feel like there was a more defined line between what was for adults and what was for kids, which I feel like maybe we don't have as much now. But so, like, the idea of a kids club that was celebrating the fact that you were, in fact, a kid, was like this thing, that made you feel special and, something that was just for you, and you could pick your favorite kids club, which kids club member,
and, like, who doesn't want to go in and get a hamburger and get, like, a free little magazine with comic book looking cartoons and a toy? Like, of course you want to do that.
Absolutely. And I'm sure parents like it because it keeps their kid occupied while they're eating in a restaurant, and but it's something they can do, and hopefully there's a lot of people who kept their Burger King Kids Club toys, like us.
Yeah, if you have pictures of your
God, please
toys,
show us.
Please get us on social media, and let's see if you've got any old posters, any of the old magazines, any of the toys. My goodness, we want to see all that stuff. So we will post pictures of some of the ones we have on our social media. I think that about wraps it up for the first episode. What do you think?
I think so. I think that's good for episode 1.
Episode 1
God.
In the can.
Episode 1.
We have so many ideas for things we want to talk about on this show. I think this
could go on for forever, and I don't think we'll ever run out. You should see our Google Doc.
Oh my God, it's
just so many ideas.
That it's going to be as fun as our idea list makes it sound. So,
if nothing else, it's going to be fun for you and I to do it. So
for sure. Thank you so much. If you have gotten this far in the episode, thank you so much for giving us a listen. We hope that you will come back. If you are unaware, you can get the show on Apple Podcasts. If you are so inclined to give us a review, a rating and a review, we would much appreciate it. We are on Spotify. We are on Google Play. You can also get it on our website, coolkidsclubpod.com. Social media, we are on Facebook. We are on Instagram and Twitter. The handle for both of those is at Cool Kids Club Pod. There's going to be a lot going on social media, our Instagram and our Twitter. This isn't just going to be a podcast for me. Like, this is like, there's going to be content on our social media. So, this is what we want to do. This is the whole point of this is we want to interact with you. We want to have fun. We want to remember things. We want to celebrate all of this stuff. So go follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, at Cool Kids Club Pod. And if you are interested, we have some other projects. I host a wrestling podcast, or I'm one of the hosts of a wrestling podcast, Blue Bard Cage, which you can find anywhere you get your podcast. So if you're a wrestling fan, tune into that.
And I have a YouTube channel, a booktube channel, if you will, and it is Aimee Reads, Aimee spelled Aimee, and I talk about books. I review them. I do vlogs. I talk with you about books. I've had it for several years now. So you can find me over at Aimee Reads on YouTube. And again, all this stuff will be linked in the show notes.
Yes, and you can follow both of our personal Twitter accounts if you would like.
Sure.
I am at Lousy with Ghosts, and Aimee is at Aimee Reads TN.
Yep.
I believe. I also want to thank Brian Wakefield, who is a dear friend of mine and who is the musical genius who created our ultra catchy theme song that you will be hearing at the beginning of every episode. Thank you to Brian Wakefield and his daughter Cadence and Ryan Curtis for the guitar work, for composing our theme song. Aimee, I think that's about it.
I think that's it. Well, until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye, cool kids.
Bye.